A few years ago, I was down so terrible that I had to take a job at Domino's, but don't get it twisted, I'm still down bad now. Just not to the extent I was back then. Consider subscribing to help with that. But yeah, in the fall of 2019 I was thinking, well, my funds are low, and school be taxing, so I might as well get a job. As you can see from my old video about working, my first job was at a pizza place called Little Caesars, so I know it wouldn't be too much of an L to retrain me. The thing about Little Losers is, even though I hated working there with my mind, body, and everything within me, the work itself wasn't actually that butthole ravishing. It was mostly the fake bums I worked with that made me hate it. So when applying to Domino's, I just had to make sure they weren't tweaking like that. I'm pretty sure after I applied, I had to be the one to call them to see if they got my application and all that. It's been a minute, Negroes, so my memory on this is a little cloudy, but I think on the day I was supposed to get interviewed, the place was closed down for inspection. You made me haul my ass all the way over here, and for what? When I finally went to take the interview, the guy conducting it was on his phone for like a minute before anything even happened. Like at this point, my mind is jumping between a mix of emotions, cause on one hand, if this is how niggas are operating as managers, then I got nothing to worry about as far as downtime is concerned, but on the other, I'm like, am I gonna have to wait to make moves here? Cause I don't know if that can go. After my interview, or two, like I said, it was a minute ago, Negro, I don't remember everything. It was time for me to start working. Now, in Little Brutus, my job was mainly to put pizzas in the box, but the business made it like 10 times worse. At Domino's, I was more in charge of making the pizzas. Like yeah, I would also be putting them in boxes after they were done in the oven, but that was mostly on slower shifts. I feel like more often, I was putting all the ingredients on the pizza while other people were putting it in boxes. Or the other way around, like I'd be the one putting them in boxes while other people were making the pizza. But a little more often it was me working the pizzas, and I gotta say, not standing in front of that sun-ass oven all day was definitely an improvement over Little Sissies. Now when making the pizza, you're supposed to stretch the dough out first, but I was kinda ass at that, so the other guys would make a bunch of pre-made dough for me to put the stuff on. And there's like a whole chart of how many toppings to put, depending on the size and all that, and requests. And they got an order to make it on too. Like you gotta do it in all certain methodology, like we're scientists. Like they really be doing the most, but I get it. Anything to stop the customers from yapping. And speaking of customers, the Domino's is on the same road as the university I go to, but that was before I went there. It was just a bunch of randos in the middle of the road. The guys who worked at Domino's were either delivery drivers or in-store workers. And all of the in-store workers were also managers because they've been there for a minute. So like during work, they'd be talking to each other while I just sit there in the background on my phone. Cause nigga, I'm not about to relate to these grown men who've clearly known each other for years. And this isn't even me dissing. Like I've been socially inept for years, and you should know this, but the guys were mostly cool, you know. I wouldn't say I was beefing with them, but there was this one guy that was mainly a delivery driver, but sometimes helped out. And I feel like whenever I was on the phone, he was like looking down on me, like judging me. And I'm just thinking like, what does it matter to you, my guy? There's no work for me to do, and all my coworkers, which means all my managers, be spamming the phone use. So what are you on my ass for? But like I said, I just felt that. I mean, he never confronted me or told me to get off my phone or any of those L behaviors. Honestly though, it might all be in my useless mind. Like there's a big chance he thought nothing of me being on my phone, and I was just projecting, cause I needed to invent a problem that's completely unnecessary. But I don't know, like I was just getting that vibe from him. Another person I don't know about was this other delivery guy. That was one of the more playful types. Like you know the guy that kinda acts like a tryhard and tells jokes to and about you before he even knows if you're about that or not. Like I said, I don't or didn't have beef with anyone, so I hold nothing against anyone there. I'm not gonna flame them like I flame most of the bums I mentioned on this channel, but yeah, there's like a 0% chance I'll be chilling with them outside work. Now, even though having a job itself might be ass cancer, working there was actually kinda lame, you know? I would have to go get stuff from the freezer when they ran out, and I didn't always know where they were. I mean, that was annoying, but not that big a deal. I just hate the uncertainty of not knowing exactly where something is. Like I have to be in control. But the main source of my despair was the fact that you could just be chilling in front of the oven when all of a sudden, like a million orders come out in the middle of the shift, and now you have to work like you're on the plantation for a minute. Honestly though, like I said, it wasn't that much of a tough thing to do. I just hate feeling tied down to a job while I could be at home making videos instead. So after a while, going to school in the morning and afternoon and then working in the evening is kind of not fun or something. Like it kind of makes me hate breathing. But yeah, I wasn't trying to do all that. Plus I got an offer to animate something for more money than I was getting at Domino's. So I told the guys after like 3 weeks of working that I was done, and my last time working was with the main manager, I think. Like I said, all my in-restaurant coworkers were managers, cause like there was only 4 of them, but this guy was like the manager of the managers. He was a cool guy, you know. He wasn't on my ass or anything, and he told me I could come back whenever. I mean, that's not gonna happen, cause they were paying me third world wages. But I like having the option, you know. In the end, Domino's makes decent pizzas, Little Caesars is trash, and my managers may have been getting the racks, but I'm not trying to work in front of the oven for a broke boy's wage before I can get paid the funds I need.